Winning.
Pick.
Weekly.
Smith for the win.
Raisi K.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to week 10 of the NFL Slate on Winning Picks Weekly. We are officially more than halfway through the slate, Greg. It's a sad day. It's a bad day. But on the other hand, things are starting to be a little more clear in the NFL for me, for you, even though you had a bad week. But just in general, even though there's a lot of instability going on within the NFL itself, right? Whether that's rookies everywhere, the quarterback, whether that's offensive line issues, how the Jets. I mean, things are all over the place for every single team. I mean, for God's sakes, we have Tyson Badgett going up right now versus Bryce Young, and even though the Bears own the Panthers pick, we don't know who's going to win this game. I mean, that should tell it all, right? In a nutshell. But here we are, Greg. It's Thursday night. It's Thursday night football. It's the Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are wearing the all orange. Got to mean something. Justin Fields is going to be back next week. I'm be honest with you. The Bears have been pretty frisky the last couple of weeks, especially if you're picking against them in Survivor. You know how frisky they've been. If you're not maybe watching a 2-win team, they're +3. They're -3.5 at home against the Panthers. Greg, what are you thinking about this game that's about to start up in an hour here?
I like the Bears. I like the Bears at home. 75% of the money right now is on Carolina with 1 win on the season. They're not much better against the spread. Bears, like you said, I think they covered last week against New Orleans. I think they were in that game. I think Tyler Badgett's been okay. He's been serviceable. And Bryce Young has not. Bryce Young has not looked good so far this season, his rookie year. We saw, the most incredible game from CJ Stroud we've seen from a rookie last week. Bryce Young is just nowhere to be found. So, if there was ever a time to do it, it would be on Primetime on Thursday night with everyone watching. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Chicago is going to get this win. I think Chicago is going to cover the 3.5 at home. And it's kind of weird. Like, Chicago has Carolina's pick. So I don't really know what Chicago... I think Chicago wants to win in this situation because they want to keep Carolina with 1 win to try to make sure they get that first overall pick. And if they end up with 3 or 4 wins and they finish up with the 5th pick or whatever, I think they'd rather have that than both sitting here with 2 wins. So it's weird. You don't see a lot of teams playing the team that has their pick a lot. So
and they both suck. That's the wrinkle. It's not that they're playing each other and they own the other pick. That happens. It's that they both suck.
Right.
One has 1 win and one has 2 wins. That's what's weird. Yeah. So either way, they're good to go. I'm very shocked that the public is on Carolina. I wonder if it's just people saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm just taking the points here."
Yeah.
And you know what? The away team has been a moneymaker on Thursday Night Football. I thought I was being smart by taking Carolina. I thought I was like fading myself, fading the public, fading the world by going with Carolina. And the game's about to start. There's no more time to move. That's it. It has moved. Man, this makes me love Chicago. As I started here, Greg, they've been on the cusp of winning almost every single game with Badgett, except for the first one, maybe. So I feel like that game is still in people's heads. It's his last game to shine. Justin Fields is coming back next week. Dude, I love the Bears. I'm not gonna take. I love the Bears. I'm about to change it in our official pool right now too, just to make sure. So I was on Carolina. I really thought I was being smart. All right.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I saw it today too. But when I like Chicago into it. I love Chicago. Now that I see 75% of the money's on Carolina, it makes no sense.
So not only is Brian Burns out, but like a lot of their defense is out.
Yeah.
and the offensive line's hurt. It makes no sense. I got Frankie Louvu in a huge parlay tonight with over 8.5 tackles and assists and over 4.5 tackles straight up. Because I think he's gonna be all over the place. Shout out to the Jets for releasing him, and he's the star of the team. All right. Also, just real quick, this is not the Jets episode, but this is the Jets factory for linebackers. I think it's like linebacker. Every single linebacker that's ever touched a Jets uniform is now a top linebacker in the league, and we're gonna see
Yeah,
what Frankie Louvu
crazy.
wins this game. All right. From that standalone game, and I guess everyone's saying it, and it does end with the Jets in there and AFC East, so it's fitting for us. The second primetime game we got going on standalone is a 9 a.m. Frankfurt game. Patriots at home. It's interesting because they were saying that the Chiefs and the Patriots, which are the only two Germany games, the one last week was Kansas City. That's their biggest fandom. So they gave them their first two home games. So there will be a lot of Patriots jerseys, I assume. Weird news going around with Bill Belichick, right? We got the video of him on a Ring camera walking out of a house in the morning. We have news of him 2 weeks ago re-signing an extension last, and then this week we have
Lucrative.
and now we have news that if he loses this week, he might be fired. So I don't know what to believe anymore.
It was a lucrative deal. They didn't say at the time that it was only through 2024, I think. So it's like it's a 2-year deal or something like that.
We got lip syncing by the boss and the general manager up in the booth. Like it's wild times in New England. And this is the exact time when New England lays a smackdown on the team. I mean, this is the time when New England might win by 3 touchdowns. I'm in one league where I have Stevenson on my bench, and I cannot find a place to start him, and it's really upsetting me. I know he's gonna absolutely kill this week. I love the New England Patriots this week. They are going to crush Gardner Minshew. I don't care that JC Jackson's out. I don't care that they have another O lineman out. It doesn't matter. Bill Belichick about to get fired. That's the news this week. Him coming out now, it's like personal. Him with his shirt off on a ring. Shout out to Babs on the mic. He was on a Jets episode on the Jets Etc. podcast. The guy that dropped that earlier last year for the Patriots episode. But yo, this is personal. Bill Belichick. He's gonna and listen. They had a good game last week. It looks bad on paper, but they had a good game, and the interception came down to the last second. And it was a stupid interception. That was not on Mac Jones. So plus 1.5. I love the Patriots, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the Patriots too in this one. Yeah, I think one of the crazier storylines that you kind of touched on, but you didn't hammer home, which I want to hammer home, is I think JC Jackson isn't injured, but he's being left behind by the team because they're not sure how reliable he is abroad.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I have no idea what it means, John. It's the first time I've heard that. That he's like he's gonna stay home because he's not reliable. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
It's a guy that everyone got back. Everyone was so excited. Oh, JC Jackson's gonna go back to New England. He's gonna be so good. Blah blah blah. I don't know, but I'm with you on New England. I think this is a prime bounce back game. It's interesting that New England, the Kansas City Chiefs, were the biggest two teams in Germany. Kansas City made a little sense to me because the red and the yellow, kind of the jerseys, kind of matched the country's flag. I guess they've probably been the more two dominant teams over the last decade and a half. So I guess that's why probably there's some international fans, but it's cool. I'm excited. I like the international games. I hate that they do them so like back to back to back. I wish I spaced it out a little bit more, but either way, 9:30.
It makes sense for their field.
Yeah, it's true.
Like they don't want to take out the field, put it back. They just Bayern is just probably on break, and then they're just away, and then they'll come back and fix.
Last week I was in Chicago, and it tipped off at 8:30. I can't do that. 9:30 is the max. People start kicking off at 8:30, 7:30, 6:30 if you're on the West Coast. I don't know what the hell they're doing. So I'm happy that I'm back on the East Coast. Happy that it's 9:30. Give me New England for sure in this game.
Yeah, it's funny. For the Black Friday game, it's going to be a 12 o'clock start. I'll be on the West Coast, and that's like a normal time for me. This is like a Saturday kickoff. Everyone's like, oh, 12, that's crazy. Like, because they're used to the 10 a.m. for the 1 p.m. I was like, all right. It's interesting. All right. Time zones. Am I right? All
Good
right.
stuff.
All right. 1 p.m. Big slate. Big bye weeks, but big slate. Man, where do you want to start off here? Let's start off with the San Francisco 49ers -2.5 at Jacksonville. Honestly, and I know this is crazy to say, maybe a Super Bowl matchup. Very possible. They have doubts for me as much as I like both teams in their own right. They both also have doubts for me. Easily, these teams I could see getting hot or fizzling out later on, but gonna be a good game. Jacksonville +2.5 at home. Trent Williams might not play. And I feel like everybody's been on the San Francisco 49ers, especially Purdy, ever since that happened, Greg. It's ever since Trent Williams has been out. And as long as he's out, I'm riding with the other team, especially against the spread. I'm riding with Jacksonville here.
Yeah, I'm going San Francisco in this one. I think that Trent Williams got banged up. Debo got banged up. CMC got banged up. Now they're coming back. They're getting healthier. Still might be down Trent Williams, which, okay, I agree. He's best offensive lineman in the league. But I think if Debo's back, CMC had an extra week to rest. Ayuk's been incredible. Kittle's been good. I think San Francisco comes in here and smashes Jacksonville. It's a Sunday, 1 o'clock, West Coast to East Coast. You're not really expecting it. These are the games I feel like San Francisco wins by 30. So I love San Francisco here. 70% of the money right now on Jacksonville, +3 at home. I get it. Both teams are pretty good. You're taking the points at home. I like San Francisco here. I feel like these are just one of the spots after a bye. Kyle Shanahan, I feel like, is just tough to deal with. And only 3 points. I feel like it's setting up for a big time win for San Francisco. My first best bet of the day here for San Francisco.
All right. Interesting stuff here. See what Jacksonville's made of. Trying to go 7-2. Really make a mark for that first round bye.
Yeah.
Honestly. And they gotta run away from the Houston Texans. Let's go to the Houston Texans. 4-4. +6-5. Again, everybody looks at the Houston Texans and say, wow, they're so amazing. They're 4-4. Then you look at the Jets and say, wow, their season's over. They're 4-4. We'll get to that later. Houston +6.5 at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, big, popular AFC pick right now. Starting to look good, starting to get healthy, but T. Higgins is out. Jamar Chase not healthy. Honestly, Greg, I'm about to do it right now before you even say a word. I'm taking this as one of my best bets. Let's go CJ Stroud. I don't care that Dameon Pierce is going to be out. I don't care that one of their wide receivers is going to be out. They have so many in Robert Woods and Hutchinson and Tank Dell. They have so many weapons, and even in Dalton Schultz. Singletary will come back in for Dameon Pierce. I just love everything this Houston team is about. Give me the +6.5. I love this. Best bet.
Yeah, we're going head to head here. I think Cincinnati is a slam dunk play here. I just don't think that Houston. I mean, after that incredible, miraculous win, I think this is the definition of a letdown spot here, especially for a young team, young coaching staff, young quarterback in Houston. I think Cincinnati has woken up. Cincinnati's got healthy. Joe Burrow seems back to being himself. Right now, 70% of the public betting right now in Cincinnati, with 65% of the public money.
They're not healthy, though. You said they're becoming healthy. I'm telling you, they're not healthy. Jamar Chase is not even practicing. T. Higgins is out.
I'm talking about Joe Burrow's back to being healthy. Joe Burrow can move around. Joe Burrow can extend the play. Joe Burrow can find someone open. Jamar Chase is a limited participant, but he's going to play. T. Higgins is going to be out, which sucks because I feel like T. Higgins really does open up a few things for this offense and allows it to compete with those upper echelon defenses. I just don't think Houston has an upper echelon defense this season. I think they have a very good defense. I think they have a better than
coming back this week, your boy.
Yeah, but still.
No? All right. I mean, I'm really liking this Houston team, man. +6.5 is nice. They want you to stay away. They want you to take Cincinnati. Oh, don't worry, under a touchdown. Even if Cincinnati wins here, it's gonna be a one possession game. It's gonna be a field goal game, man. I think Houston's feisty, dude. They don't get blown out by any team. I'm cautioning you. Everyone loves Cincinnati. I'm cautioning you. Especially, I love that the public and all the bets are with Cincinnati. I love Houston here. All right. Going against each other for a best bet. Love that. All right. Next game. Let's go New Orleans at Minnesota. And this is my hold your nose pick of the week. I mean, who wants to take Minnesota after the miracle with Josh Dobbs? But let me tell you something, man. Especially as someone who took New Orleans last week in Survivor, New Orleans stinks, dude. Especially when they're supposed to win. Now they're on the road, supposed to kill this Minnesota team. This Minnesota team is hyped after last week. They're highly motivated. Justin Jefferson is coming off IR. He's going to take one more week to come back. They want to win this game. They're going home. Josh Dobbs has a full week of practice. Second best bet of the day. Hold your nose. Best bet. I absolutely love Minnesota here, dude. It's a perfect spot. New Orleans sucks. I don't know what to say. Yes, they Taysom without like Taysom Hill special plays. He had 2 touchdowns last week. Like it's just so fluky, and they barely won. I mean, I love Minnesota at home here. It's going to be loud. Derek Carr is going to turn the ball over. I'm going all out for Minnesota here. Give me a best bet. Hold your nose.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going New Orleans here. I feel like, I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like they've unlocked something with Taysom Hill the last 2 or 3 weeks. I feel like he's gotten so much more involved, and he needs to be more involved. You know, I don't know what happens with him. Like, I feel like he was like this whole phenomenon 3 years ago, and then he just goes through these spurts where he just disappears for 6 weeks at a time, and then all of a sudden he comes back and he's making plays, running the ball, doing what he can, catching the ball, throwing the ball. I feel like he's just all over the place. So, yeah, I like New Orleans here. I just think, again, talk about a letdown spot for Minnesota. It's only a 3-point spread, so like, I thought it was going to be a lot higher. Maybe maybe I'm faking myself out. To your point, maybe Minnesota wins this handedly. Because I thought it was going to be, a 5-point spread, a 6-point spread, but New Orleans just hasn't been too impressive. So I get it. Minnesota, unbelievable win last week against Atlanta. New Orleans just has been looking bad and bad week in and week out. Can't throw the ball down the field. But
Minnesota's been looking better though.
What's up?
Minnesota's been looking better, dude. New Orleans.
Yeah, I know. Minnesota's been looking good. New Orleans has been looking bad, but that's the NFL though. If you take the teams that look good against the teams that look bad, you're going to end up losing money. That's how how it works.
I just feel like New Orleans has been sneaking, like box score. New Orleans been sneaking through, and you're like, oh yeah, New Orleans has got it done. And then you look at Minnesota, you say, oh yeah, that's a miracle. It's not going to happen again. That's Josh Dobbs.
Yeah. I mean, New Orleans didn't cover last week. I was all over the Bears last week because I thought 8 points is just crazy for this New Orleans teams. I think New Orleans is going to be a field goal game every time. Like, no matter who they play. They could play the Eagles. They could play the Panthers. They're going to play to the competition. And it's going to be ugly, and it's going to be disgusting, and it's going to be 45 passes to Alvin Kamara for 3 yards. And that's how New Orleans likes to play football now for some reason. I'm not sure what's happened with that offense, but I think that's what you get with New Orleans now. And I think it's going to be close. That's why it's only a 3-point spread. So, yeah, give me -2.5, -3, whatever we want to do here. I like New Orleans in this one.
All right. Let's go to this, game of 2 storied franchises, but honestly, horrible teams with opposite records. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, 5-3. Spread is -3.5. Against the 3-5 Green Bay Packers. 3-5 being the important numbers going on here. What do you like in this game, man?
I like Green Bay here. 80% of the public bets, 70% of the public money is on Pittsburgh. I just think, again, like I said it for the last thing, if you take the good teams against the bad teams, you're going to lose money. Like, you have to take some bad teams in the NFL. Upsets happen. Things get weird. Pittsburgh's another one of those teams where I feel like every game is going to be close. Green Bay can score it. Green Bay can throw it when their offense is good. The problem is the offense has been good 2 games this season. So, on the road at Pittsburgh, I feel like at 1:00 is where I would want to play Pittsburgh if I have to play on the road against Pittsburgh. Yeah. I don't want it to be prime time. I don't want it to be later in the night when starts getting dark out. Terrible towels get waving. Renegade gets playing. I don't want that. So
I agree with that. Actually.
If I have to pick a spot, I want to play Pittsburgh at 1:00. And I don't know. Green Bay 20 points last week against the terrible Rams team with no Matt Stafford. Maybe they've unlocked something. Maybe they figured a couple things working out. Aaron Jones getting back in the mix. Maybe this team's going a little bit. I just think this game's going to be close, so give me the points. I don't think Pittsburgh's capable of blowing out a team by 2 touchdowns right now. So give me Green Bay +3.
So I 100% agree with you. I think it's at 3.5 right now. I 100% agree with you. And the first thing is Pittsburgh shouldn't give points to anybody. They suck.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be giving points to anyone.
They just keep winning.
Nevertheless, 3.5. I'm going with Green Bay here. I believe they still have something to fight for. Green Bay does in the NFC. Pittsburgh is chilling. They're 5-3. Of course, they're right in the thick of things. Like they're fighting for division. They're fighting for the wild card. Like we all know. But this is an easy letdown spot, man. This is a letdown Steelers spot. This is a Steelers are in panic mode game. Everything they're flying high after last game. DJ got his touchdown. Najee Harris never looking better. Everything's fantastic for the Steelers. The Steelers stink. I think Green Bay can go on the road, beat Pittsburgh straight up. So give me the spread, give me the 3, or give me the 3 in the hook. I think that's a sharp play, actually.
I like that.
All right, Cleveland at Baltimore, sticking with the AFC North. Baltimore 7-2. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
-5.5 at home to Cleveland. That is surprising, man. I mean, I guess this is my third and final best bet. Or what am I? Okay, what am I missing? What am I missing here, dude? Like, what's happening? I love the Cleveland Browns here. They're the top defense in the league, at least top 5. And Deshaun Watson looked great last week. I guess he was injured. The running backs look great. What's the issue? I mean, Baltimore's defense did look good. Then they absolutely killed last week. But I actually I'm benching all my fantasy guys that I have for both these teams, but especially the Ravens. I guess I just have more on the Ravens. I guess that's how it worked out. But man, I love Cleveland +5.5 here. This is that's amazing for me. I'm taking the money line. I think they can win this game straight up. 7-2 is crazy. The Ravens are not going to be 8-2. Give me a break. I feel like this is the Browns win.
No, I'm with you. I like Cleveland here a lot. I was thinking about making it a best bet, but I stayed away. Yeah, dude, I don't get it. I mean, Baltimore, I think that they're riding high after, playing 3 teams in the NFC, and they just simply dominate the NFC team. So they've killed 2 of the 3 games. They've actually killed the other team. They killed Seattle last week. And I think that's why the spread is so high. I think Vegas knows that if they make this 6 or so points, they're trying to get that money 50-50. So they think they're going to get Baltimore money because, to your point, what's same as the Cincinnati pick, it's under a touchdown. You're going to get people be like, oh, Baltimore by a touchdown. Dude, it's divisional game. You're back to playing AFC teams. The Cleveland Browns have seen Lamar Jackson 10 times now. They're not going to be fooled by him. They're not going to be surprised by him. Baltimore's offense has been good. I'm interested to see how it handles a top flight defense in Cleveland this season, top 5 in most statistical categories, divisional opponent. I get that Baltimore's at home, but give me Cleveland here. I see it at +6. I see it at +6.5 in some sports books. So whatever you want to call, if we want to call 5.5, if we want to call 6, whatever it is, I like Cleveland. To your point, I think they can win this game outright. I think the defense can show up. I think that running game could get going. Both these teams play very similar style offense. If Cleveland's passing game can get going, these 2 teams match up extremely well.
Dude, my Hail Mary is getting easier and easier.
Yeah.
So, I'm just making it as we go here. All right. Next game. Last game of the ones. Game that I honestly hate, but it's going to be fun because I want to see Will Levis. I want to see the Tajay Spears experiment continue where he's killing it, man. We got Derrick Henry and the boys in Tennessee going to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay heartbreaker last week to Houston. They're 3-5. They need this win, but honestly, so does Tennessee. Both teams. This is a very important game for both teams. Basically, a pick 'em here. What do you got going, dude? This is a tough one for me. I could be swayed either way.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the standings right now in the NFL because I don't know who's in last place here. The Titans are 3-5 in last place, and the Bucks are 3-5. Oh, but that's right, Carolina's in their division. So, Yeah, I mean, both these teams sitting at 3-5. They both need to win bad. Um, it's tough, man. It's tough. Like, I feel like it's tough to recover from a game like last week if you're Tampa Bay. I think as a veteran team, seeing the young guys come out here and just absolutely cook you time and time again. We were talking about Tampa Bay. I was talking about the Tampa Bay defense. Tampa Bay is a pretty good defense. Tampa Bay defense. Todd Bowles is a defensive coach. Just getting cooked
Yeah.
over and over and over again by CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, and the young guys. I feel like that's like a little bit of like changing of the guard, father time. Maybe you start having bad thoughts at late at night because the Tampa Bay team of old would not let a rookie quarterback throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, that was just insane.
Also, the last play was like in 45 seconds or something.
The last drive, yeah, it was 45 seconds, no timeouts, just down the field, 16 yards, 30 yards, 16 yards, touchdown. Like, damn. Like, that's tough. On the other hand, Baker Mayfield kept you in it, which that's not something that's said a lot in NFL over the last few years. So, Baker Mayfield and this offense did their part. Mike Evans was fighting for 50-50 balls. But you got another young quarterback in Will Levis coming to town, and I like him. 67% of the money right now on the Tennessee Titans. I just think it's tough if you're Tampa Bay to bounce back after last week. Like, that's a tough loss. So, give me Tennessee on the road with D-Hop and all those guys getting it done. Climbing out of 4th place. I mean, Vrabel's not going to finish last in this division. They're gonna get some wins here.
I'm with you, man. I'll take Tennessee here. I want to see Will Levis keep cooking. So I'm down with that. I don't have a real take here. I'll roll with your. I like what you said. I like Vrabel. All right, 4 p.m. This game, I have no idea again, Greg. I'm honest here. I'm trying to be honest. I have no idea. We have the Atlanta Falcons with Heineke, maybe bounce back game. Who knows who's the running back? At Arizona, Kyler Murray, first game back. They all seem hyped. He seems healthy. He's probably been practicing for a month now. I mean, where are we at here? What do you like? I have no clue. I honestly
Atlanta
don't know.
Falcons, 3rd and final, best bet of the day.
Wow.
Absolutely slam it on the Falcons. 70% of the money on Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. 65% of the bets. That's just insane. Kyler Murray hasn't played football in a year. Atlanta Falcons, like I said, last week against Minnesota. I mean, you can't let it happen. So you can't lose 2 weeks in a row to a guy who hasn't played at all with his team and doesn't know the people and doesn't know the playbook. Like, this is a whole new offense. This is a whole new system. I get that Kyler Murray's been around and been with the team all offseason, yada yada, but hasn't been working out, hasn't been in OTAs, hasn't been doing practices. He's still getting up to speed on this stuff. Give me Atlanta. I think Atlanta wins this game by 10. I think they handle business and they keep it moving. Atlanta, my 3rd and final best bet of the day.
All right, I'm telling it. I mean, I'm nervous about Atlanta's offense, but I definitely understand fading Kyler Murray, and they're 1-8. They're down to lose, so we'll see. But it just feels like Arizona for them to win this game. We'll see what happens. All right.
Yeah.
The other 405, LA Chargers. Man, do I hate them right now. 4-4, plus 1.5 versus Detroit off a bye. Now, this is interesting, man. This is an interesting game. Ooh, Greg, that was my question. Where is the public? 83% and 94%. Not great. Not great
on
for
Detroit. Yep.
Yeah, not great for me saying I don't understand this line. Now this line makes absolutely no sense. So what's your take here?
I like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are playing well. Herbert last week against the Jets didn't put up crazy numbers, but still did enough to get the job done. And he could have had an even better game if Austin Eckler and a couple other guys didn't drop some easy catches that they had against us. Keenan Allen though made some incredible catches to kind of make up for it. So I think the Chargers are playing well. I think the defense is good. Detroit, Jared Goff on the road versus at home. I get that they're still,
That's sunny,
inside in
dude.
LA.
Yeah.
There's no real home team in LA, so maybe it's
Yeah.
gonna be a Detroit home game. But for me, it's the money. 94% of the money is on Detroit.
Yeah.
Just Las Vegas doesn't lose those that often. So if you get me, you get me on this one. And Detroit ends up winning this game, okay. But I feel like 8 times out of 10, Las Vegas is coming away winning these 95% of the money on one team bets. So give me LA here +3 at home.
I refuse to be scared by that. I'm just gonna I know what I watched. Chargers stink. Detroit off a bye. They must know something that I don't, and I'm willing to just go with their. I'm just going with Detroit. They just probably can't believe that Detroit's gonna be 7-2, which I agree. But I'm taking it. All right. 425.
If there's my whole thing that what I don't get about this is like if 94% of the money is on Detroit, like why didn't you make the number higher? Like you could have made it -5, you could have made it -7.
It's weird. Things are weird. No, it's weird.
Makes me think a little wink
Something
wink
weird's happening.
like
No doubt.
LA is gonna win this by 15 type things.
Possible, but give me Detroit.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I agree with you. And I'm going with the public. So you sound like you're going to be right, but I can't. Like I'm going towards the light. I'm like a fly going towards the light. I have to go towards the light.
Yeah, I know. I know how it is.
All right. 425 here. This game was maybe it still will be, but it was supposed to be a shootout. It looks like the entire Seattle offense is injured. We got Lockett, who might not play. We got Njigba, who might not play. But we'll see. They still got Bobo and Metcalf, I guess. Metcalf's been hurt all year. Well, what do you like in this game, Greg?
I like Washington
-6.5. -6.5 Seattle at home versus Washington.
Yeah, I like Washington. 11% of the money is on Washington. 89% on Seattle. They looked terrible last week. They're all banged up. They're all hurt after playing Baltimore. Washington gets a sneaky win against New England. We both talked about it. We both like New England last week because it's Sam Howell going to New England. That's not a place where a young quarterback thrives. He played good enough. Like the defense played good enough. They all played good enough. And that's all you need to do sometimes. I think that's all you need to do against the Seattle team. Seattle has not looked impressive. They have a decent record, but they haven't looked crazy impressive to me this season like they did last year. Last year, they were scoring the ball. Geno was putting up 30 points a game. Some games, getting everyone involved. Haven't seen too many DK Metcalf highlights this season. Haven't seen too many Tyler Lockett highlights this season. Kenneth, what's the running back's name there?
Kenneth Walker.
Ken Walker. He's been banged up all season. Like I got him on one of my fantasy teams, like questionable tag every single week. Not sure if he's gonna play every single week. Every single week he's had, I think, 2 good weeks this season. Like it's crazy to me that 90% of the money is on Seattle. I like Washington here a lot. I was thinking about making it a best bet, but Seattle's still that 12th man, that home team. I don't know. They're talking a lot of smack about the defense going into that game against Baltimore, and they absolutely got shit on. So I don't know how scared I should be of that Seattle defense, but I still respect the 12th man.
All right. Man, I want to go with you. All right, I'm going to go with you here because I think that Sam Howell is really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm on an island here, and this is where I'm looking at the 91%, 89% on Seattle. Like there's no way that this could just happen. And in your point, it can't keep happening.
Yeah.
Right? So I think you're going to be 1-1 here, and I'm hoping to be 2-0 here. I'm going with you on Washington. I think Washington's a straight up better team. It's just that Seattle's desperate. Like we thought they were going to win last week, and this week we think they're going to win and take that division, right? And it's just I think Washington's a good team. They're really good on offense, like you were talking about. Curtis Samuel's going to be back this week. Lance Thomas is one of the top targets. Tight end. I love Washington here, dude. Damn. Now that we talk about it, jeez. All right, I love that we talk about it because I did not really like a lot of these games, but I love Washington now. All right.
Hail Mary just keeps getting better and better.
Last 425. I know. Last 425, and this is a tough one for me, Greg. I'm curious what you think, but Dallas minus 16.5 at home. Is the Giants offensive line playing? I know that Tommy DeVito's in with Barkley as a backup. Tommy DeVito first time getting first starter reps. What do you got? I'm scared to hear your answer.
I think this is a hold your nose pick of the week. I think this is a don't think, just throw pick of the week. 95% of the money is on Dallas. 86% of the public bets are on Dallas. And I know I was talking all this smack about it. I said 8 out of 10 times Vegas loses this game. I think this is the 2 out of 10 times. Or 8 out of 10 times they win this game. 2 out of 10 times they lose. I think this is one of the 2 out of 10 times. I don't think the New York Giants are scoring 10 points on Sunday. I think Dallas is going to absolutely kill them. Rivalry game here, division game. Dallas gets an opportunity to lick their wounds a little bit after a couple tough weeks. This defense gets back on track. This offense gets back on track. I think this could easily be like a 30-3 game. Similar to week 1 when the Giants had all the hope in the world. It's now dashed 10 times over now. Tommy DeVito's starting for you. To your point, the whole offensive line is beat up.
Joe
It's
Pesci.
pain. It's pain.
Gets me every time.
So, yeah, I think it's Dallas all the way here. Hold my nose. This is my survivor pick of the week. Dallas all the way. Pains me to say it.
All right, let me ask you a question here. You said survivor. I have them left in one of my survivors. I'm thinking about taking them, but I want you to really quick pull up week 11.
Ooh.
All right, while I talk real quick, because I am willing to take Dallas this week. However, I feel like I have nobody to take except for Dallas next week. And I know we haven't talked survivor
That's
yet.
not true.
It's not true.
I already look at it. I already see the easy pick next week. It took
All right, let me know because maybe I took the team already. What do you got?
Washington at home against New York Giants.
We're just gonna keep fading the Giants.
Dude, it's worked. It's worked all season. Like this is I haven't really done I didn't do a ton of survivors this season. And I'm getting so mad because I've picked right every single week this week, and it's been fading the Cardinals in the beginning part of the season, and now it's gonna be fading the Giants in the middle part of the season. Like,
All right.
like it's like, oh, it's cheesy to take the big spreads every week. It's like, yeah, it's cheesy to take the big spreads every week, but it works.
No, I just want to win. I just didn't want to box
wanna win.
myself. I just want to box. I didn't want to box. All right, fine. All right, so
And
just
to
say
me, John,
Dallas.
John, you're getting
survive.
you're getting these teams out who you have to play. If you're Washington, you have to play Dallas twice. You have to play the Eagles twice. Like you're running out of spots to kind of use Washington if you haven't used them already.
Dude,
Same
tell
thing
me
with
about
Dallas
it.
in a way.
Tell me about it. I thought I was so smart by keeping the Eagles. I can't find a spot to take the Eagles. I've been looking at their schedule. I can't find a spot.
Right. If you still have if you haven't used Miami, I think I used Miami like week 3 or week 4. If you haven't used them,
Yeah, I used
you have
Miami.
2 or 3 weeks to use them left, and they play gauntlet every single game for the last 4 games of the season.
Eagles in one. I have in my pocket on both, and then have Buffalo in one in my pocket. But we'll talk about that in a second. First, we gotta talk about our New York Jets, man. Is there even much to say? I love that the public is all over the Raiders. 73%, 77% here. This will be a best bet, but everyone knows it's going to be my pick anyway. I love the New York Jets. I don't have the stat, but my dumb gambling brain tells me after the new head coach wins the first game, they get absolutely smacked the second game and beyond 100% of the time. That's what my gambling brain says. The Jets are absolutely desperate. Their season actually hangs on this game, as stupid as that sounds. 1, because it's AFC, and 2, because if they're 4-5 staring at the Bills and then Miami again at prime time, it's all over. It's all over. We're going to be 4-7. It's done. Like, good night. Like, see you next year. So this is a huge game. Salah cannot lose to Antonio Pierce. We're not the New York Giants. We have to win on offense. We have a brand new offensive line. I think it's the best 5 we have with Dwayne Brown at left, Tomlinson left guard, center, with Tittman the rookie, who's a natural center, right guard. Finally, Mitchell with Becton at right tackle again. Give me the New York Jets. Give me the money line. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I like the Jets too. I mean, I don't know what more there is to say. I think that I agree with you 100% on the letdown spot. Las Vegas, the worst rushing defense in all of football. We have Brees Hall. We have a bad offense. We had to just lean on Brees Hall and let him run. It's as simple as it gets. Like, don't overthink this game. Just win this game.
So the last game is the Monday night. It's Buffalo at home, coming off a tough loss, +7 now. It was 7.5. Versus Denver. Denver coming off a bye. Denver been looking a lot better.
Yep.
This was one of the games I was thinking about Survivor, but honestly, this is a classic game that Denver could win. I actually love the 7.5. Buffalo sucks ever since Milano went down and Trey White. As usual, they always suck when those guys go down. And they go down last 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, their defense, they've been banged up now every season for 3. It feels like 3 seasons in a row. But I like Buffalo here -7. Part of it's because I hate Denver. Part of it is I just think Buffalo's one of those teams, like kind of like the Titans. Like when you think they're gonna lose, they win. When you think they're gonna win, they kind of lose. They looked bad against Cincinnati last week. I think Primetime, big time bounce back spot here. Denver and the bright lights just doesn't seem right. It's starting to get cold out in Buffalo. Primetime, like, just doesn't seem like a Denver type game. I think it's gonna be low scoring. I think it's gonna be an ugly game, but I think Buffalo wins this one by more than 7. So give me Buffalo -7 at home.
All right. Just an update. It's -3 Lions.
Oh,
+3 Chargers. Kind of moved a little bit. Does that change anything for you? Just curious.
no.
All right. So what's your Hail Mary for the day, man? For the week?
All right. So my Hail Mary, San Francisco -3, Cincinnati -6.5, Falcons -1.5, the Chargers +3, and
This
the
is your Hail Mary?
and the Falcons under 43.5
All right.
plus 2,300. It's really just my best bets plus the Chargers and an under.
Okay. So with my Hail Mary, I like to go money lines everywhere. Most of these are plus money lines. So it's going to get a little bit wild, but nothing too crazy. All right. We got 10 teams. This is you put $10, you win 10, you win 100K. That's where we're at, all right? 10 teams to win this week. Browns beat the Ravens, Patriots to beat the Colts, Jaguars to beat the 49ers, Texans to beat the Bengals, Packers to beat the Steelers, Falcons to beat the Cardinals, Lions to beat the Chargers, Commanders to beat the Seahawks, Jets to beat the Raiders, Broncos to beat the Bills. Put $5 on that, 150K.
I like that. It's worth a $5 ticket for me.
Done. All right. What's your teaser?
Teaser 49ers +3, Bengals -0.5, Falcons +4.5, Chargers +9, Bills -1.5, Patriots +7.5, Titans +7.5, +700.
All right.
7-leg, 6-point teaser.
All right. I got the same 7-leg plus 700.
Okay.
Broncos +13, Jets +5, Commanders +12.5, Cowboys -11.5. That's a weird one for me. Don't usually do that, but I don't usually win teasers. Texans +12.5, Browns +12.5, Vikings +9. Oh, little $100 to win 700. Let's do it. All right.
Perfect.
All right. Wraps up the day, the week 10. Good luck. Let us know what you got. Knicks coming, Jets coming, etc. period. And at Winning P Weekly on X. 2 more weeks of the college slate, then bowl season.
Whew.
It's NBA season. Got a million parlays that I lose for $1 each. It's lit. We here. All right. Let's go. We out.